supportive family. And I thank you guys. Thank you for the mic.
At this time, Chief Byrd.
Commissioners, it's a firefighter's night. So I just want to share with you one more thing that's happened just this weekend that we were bound to silence, so we could not put it on the agenda, so please forgive me. It is my utmost privilege this evening to welcome to the microphone the 2022 Fire Chief of the Year for the state of Georgia, Chief Byrd.
Nothing about impromptu, right? Uh-oh, we got a leak.
Oh,
AC.
it must be raining outside. All right, it's just leaking. All right, so we'll get a container and make sure that we get that stuff.
Coming out. Probably AC condensing.
There's not a lot of discretionary spending, as you can see.
There is not.
Chief Byrd, if you'd.
I'll be very brief. It was quite an honor and a surprise. My wife and everybody in the room about knew but me. So I wound up in Columbus, and I'm sitting in the middle of the room. I'm looking, I was like, that plaque has my name on it. My wife's like, no, it doesn't. Then I look up, and Chief Miller, Dr. Ledbetter, and my partner in crime, Chief Polk, walked into the room. So it was a pleasure. But yes, being named Fire Chief of the Year was an honor, but obviously that I couldn't do it without all the firefighters you see in the room, and they make me who I am every day. So this is not my award, it's our award. And Spalding County has been recognized statewide, so I bring that with pride.
Big deal. Hey, I want to say something, if I may. As somebody who's just done some of the trainings with them, people can disagree with me. You might think that you live on an island by yourself, but all of us in Spalding County live under the shield of protection that you guys provide for us. All right, both the Sheriff's Department, but the Fire Department as well. I know that if my family's in danger, you guys aren't going to hesitate to run in there and save them. I know that. My house hasn't caught on fire yet. Okay, I haven't used your service, but I live under the protection that you provide, and I thank you for it.
And when you call them, they're there.
That's right.
That's
That's right.
God bless. Thank you. Item number 2, consider approval of a joint proclamation, non proctor, with the City of Griffin honoring the Exchange Club Man of the Year for 2021, Kenny L. Smith.
Commissioners, it's my privilege to read the joint proclamation this evening by the City of Griffin and Spalding County honoring the Exchange Club Man of the Year for 2021, Kenny L. Smith. Whereas Mr. Smith began his career in local government in 1982 as a patrol officer with the City of Jackson Police Department, he also worked with the Henry County Sheriff's Office and the Henry County Police Department. He became chief of the Morrow Police Department in 1991, and Kenny became the city manager of Griffin, Georgia on March 15, 2004. At that time, the city of Griffin was struggling financially, and under Mr. Smith's leadership, the city was able to get on sound financial footing. He fostered a spirit of mutual respect and cohesiveness among the city's elected officials. And Mr. Smith's tenure with the city of Griffin brought much success to the city, including 16 consecutive GFOA awards for financial reporting and the prestigious Live, Work, Play Award from Georgia Trend magazine. In 2020, the city received the Visionary City Award from Georgia Trend magazine for its work with diversity and inclusion. And Kenny received the Georgia Municipal Association's Lifetime Service Award in March 2021 for his 39 years of service in local government. And Kenny Smith is a Butts County, Georgia native. He holds degrees from Gordon College, Mercer University, and Columbus State University. He also graduated from the Georgia Law Enforcement Command College in the 174th session of the FBI National Academy in Quantico, Virginia. Mr. Smith is a certified police instructor and has served on the adjunct faculty of Georgia Military College, Clayton State University, and Columbus State University. He has served as president of the Georgia Association of Chiefs of Police and as an executive board member of the International Association of Chiefs of Police. And Kenny is the past president of the Kiwanis Club of Griffin, elevating the club and its officers to distinguished status and winning international recognition for its one-day program that helped to rehabilitate dilapidated housing in the city of Griffin. He was named the Jackson Kiwanis Club's Man of the Year at the age of 25, and Kenny and his wife, Stephanie, have 1 son, 2 daughters, and 6 grandchildren. Now therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the boards of commissioners of the city of Griffin and Spalding County, do hereby jointly and proudly recognize and pay tribute to Kenny L. Smith for the many decades of accomplishments and contributions he has made to our citizenry. We, the boards of commissioners for the city of Griffin and Spalding County, have hereunto set our hands on this 27th day of September in the year of our Lord 2022 for Griffin Exchange Club Man of the Year for 2021, Kenny L. Smith.
Thank you.
Motion to approve.
You need a motion to approve
Yes.
this?
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 4-0, motion carries. Thank you. Citizen comments. Speakers must sign up prior to the meeting and provide their names, addresses, and the topics they wish to discuss. Speakers must direct your remarks to the board and not to individual commissioners or to the audience. Personal disagreements with individual commissioners or county employees are not a matter of public concern, and personal attacks will not be tolerated. The chairman has the right to limit your comments in the interest of disposing of the county's business in an efficient and respectful manner. Speakers shall be allocated 3 minutes to speak on their chosen topics as they relate to matters pertinent to the jurisdiction of the Board of Commissioners. No questions will be asked by any of the commissioners during citizen comments. Outbursts from the audience will not be tolerated. Common courtesy and civility are expected at all times during the meeting. No speaker will be permitted to speak more than 3 minutes or more than once unless the board votes to suspend this rule. Dr. Ledbetter.
So this evening, we have one person who is signed up. It's Montina Allen. If you would, please come forward and state your name and your address, please.
My name is Martina Allen, address 216 McIntosh Trail, Griffin, Georgia, 30223. And I'm here to speak on a youth committee that a youth rally that I'm trying to have in the remembrance of my son, Jaquarius Holland, who was gunned down a couple of months ago and killed. So I supposed to have the rally in September, but I didn't know that I needed a permit to have a PA system, so therefore I had to postpone that meeting moving forward. So I'm trying to have the meeting now, October the 15th, because I'm trying to have it before it get cold. And it's a community youth rally, bringing awareness to guns, gang violence, drugs, and not only that, but I want to bring awareness to mental health as well as bullying and cyberbullying. So I'm gonna be one of the speakers, and I have other guest speakers to speak on those subjects. And I just need the approval for the permit for the PA system. I filled out the proper application, and I was told it was handed back to my son, and they told me to just come to the board meeting because it normally takes 30 days to get approved for those permits. But I'm trying to have it October the 15th at Dundee Park between 12 and 3 p.m. And that's basically it.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to motion to amend the agenda to add a discussion about a application permit for this event. to a new number one in new business.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion?
I had a question real quick about the times again. What time was it again? Did we say?
Well, we can talk about the motion.
Okay.
We just
She'll
add-
bring it
we
up.
just-
Okay.
All right. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 4-0. Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Allen. Minutes. Consider approval of minutes for the Spalding County Board of Commissioners special called meeting, extraordinary session, and executive session on September 19th, 2022. The Spalding County Board of Commissioners special called meeting and zoning public hearing on September 22, 2022. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 4-0. Motion carries. Thank you. Consent agenda. There are a number of items on the consent agenda this evening, as many of them can be approved with no discussion. If there is discussion required on any item, all members of the board has to do, all any member of the board has to do is indicate they want to discuss this item, and they will move the item to the bottom of the consent agenda for discussion. The items the board has no problem with will be approved in one vote after all the items have been read, and those that need discussion have been marked for discussion. All right? If the county manager would go through the consent items.
I'll be more than happy to, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. First up on the consent agenda, consider on second reading text amendment 22-02 to amend the zoning ordinance to allow for the regulations of lighting for development and established buildings within the county. Item number 2, consider a request on second reading, text amendment 22-03, Spalding County to amend the zoning ordinance to allow for mobile food vendors to operate within the county. Item number 3, consider request from the Spalding County Sheriff's Office to provide a school resource officer for the Trinity School Griffin campus. Item number 4, consider request from the Spalding County Sheriff's Office to declare surplus 2009 Ford Crown Vic, VIN number 2FA HP 71V39X147970, which has been wrecked and is a total loss. Item number 5, consider the approval of the following alcohol license renewals for consumption on premises for 2023. Douglas Byron Cook Sequoia Golf Peachtree LLC, DBA Sun City Peachtree Golf Club, located at 250 Delwell Boulevard, Griffin, Georgia, 30223. There are no violations. B, George Francis Crosby Loyal Order of Moose, DBA Griffin Moose Lodge, number 1503, located at 1435 Zebulon Road, Griffin, Georgia, 30224. There are no violations. Item number 6, consider the approval of the following alcohol license renewals for the retail sale of beer and wine. Atiq Ali Mohammed, ABA and QR Inc., DBA A1 Food Mart, located at 1650 North Hill Street, Griffin, Georgia, 30223. No violations. Philip Beckler, Ingalls Markets Incorporated, number 457, located at 1735 Zebulon Road, Griffin, Georgia, 30223. No violations. Shanaz Montana Good Luck Ventures Incorporated, DBA Amon Food Mart, located at 3970 North Expressway, Griffin, Georgia, 30223. No violations. Casey Smith, Casey Corner LLC, DBA Coles Corner, located at 7051 Noonan Road, Griffin, Georgia, 30223. No violations. Umang Patel, JSKR Corporation, DBA Copeland Grocery, located at 1578 High Falls Road, Griffin, Georgia, 30224. No violation. Yasmin Jawani Azah 5 Incorporated, DBA as Food Station, located at 1779 Zebulon Road, Griffin, Georgia, 30224. No violations. Richard Bradley Corbin Huckabee's, located at 7652 Highway 16 West, Brooks, Georgia, 30205. No violations. Yasmin Jawani Yasmin J. Enterprises Incorporated, DBA JV's Corner, located at 1700 Zebulon Road, Griffin, Georgia, 30224, no violations. Suryakat M. Patel Petro Griffin LLC, located at 1639 North Hill Street, Griffin, Georgia, 30223, no violations. Shakat said Rudan Shazad Incorporated, DBA Prince Food Mart, located at 3425 Jackson Road, Griffin, Georgia, 30223, no violations. Amber White Racetrack Petroleum Incorporated, DBA Racetrack number 2495, located at 1638 US Highway 41, Griffin, Georgia, 30224, no violations. Amber White Racetrack Petroleum Incorporated, DBA Racetrack number 182, located at 4200 North Expressway, Hampton, Georgia, 30228, no violations. Vijay Kumar Patel, VIJHEM LLC, DBA VJ Sons, located at 2004 North Expressway, Griffin, Georgia, 30223, no violations. Akbar Jawani, 362 Enterprise Incorporated, DBA 362 Express, located at 1600 Williamson Road, Griffin, Georgia, 30224, no violations.
Thank you, County Manager. Does any of these need to be individually discussed? All right. All those in, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 4-0. Motion carries.
All right, now we got the new.
Item number 8, number 1
New business.
was moved to October 17th agenda by amendment. Item number 2.
Well, we got the new number
Item-
one.
New item number 1.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. New item number 1.
Ms.
Dr.
Allen.
Ledbetter?
This is Ms. Allen for her amplification permit that the commission requested to amend the agenda for this evening. So, Ms. Allen, if you don't mind, if you will please step forward.
This is gonna be at Dundee Park or Tyus Park?
It was at, Tyson, but it's gonna be at Dundee because I wanna do it on Saturday and not Sunday.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Dundee part was the only part that was open for the 15th.
Okay. And the sheriff's department's taking part, right? There's,
What
Yes, sir. We, Spalding County Sheriff's Office fully supports this. You know, we all believe, especially I believe, it would be a good reason to get people together and hear the message.
Okay.
I just wanted to verify the time of the amplification.
What's the
again.
times?
From 12 to 3 p.m.
Okay.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
motion to approve.
I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Chief.
you.
Thank
And
you,
we're gonna be
Ms. Allen.
praying for your family. We're sorry for your loss. Sheriff, I wanted to bring this to your attention as well. Along with this exact program, this exact idea of strengthening our community and doing good work for the neighborhoods, several people have come up over the last month into my office, you know, from various parts of Griffin and I've said, oh, you gotta kind of watch out in that neighborhood. It's a little dangerous neighborhood. And 3 unconnected people in different neighborhoods have said, not since the sheriff have stepped in. We are safe at night. We haven't heard gunshots. We are safe and feel safe. Now the sheriff is making sure that we're safe. And
Cool. Thank you, Sheriff.
You need to know that, so.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Item number 2, the Spalding County Board of Commissioners to declare the 2022 tax millage rate. This time, I'd like to make a motion to accept the rollback millage rate. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 2. All those opposed, like sign. 2. 2-2, nothing can happen on a motion like that. Do I have a second motion?
I'd like to make a motion to accept, set the millage rate as it currently stands.
Okay, I have a
And not
motion
roll
to approve 16138. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
So the money that we took from ARP very specifically says we're not allowed to use that money to offset taxes. Now, a lot of people have different definitions of what that means. I know it was very clear last year at what that means. Some people have brought up this year that some of the bigger, I'll just say it, bluer counties are gonna just defy that anyway and are just gonna, do what they want. I don't think Fulton County has any kind of risk of Biden's DOJ coming in and yanking their money. I don't think Henry County does. But a small red county like ours, when you've got a Department of Justice that raids a former president's house, when you got a Department of Justice that raids journalist's house, that ARP money came, unfortunately, with a 3-year gotcha. And it was very clear from my reading of it, it's very clear from a lot of other folks, that whether or not they would do it or not, whether or not they'd actually come in and take that money and ask for the interest, penalties, and fees along with it, I can't say, but could they? Absolutely. Do I think they're looking to flex on a small red county? I think they would. And I think it would be utterly disastrous for Spalding County if the DOJ did that. And so we have looked for other ways to make this happen. So I think for right now, the only legally safe way to do it is to not roll back our millage rate and to keep it the same. That said, because of Chairman Davis's diligent efforts in trying to find other ways, he's engaged our amazing county manager. We have found this host law that only 2 other counties in the whole state use. And that's really saying something when there's 159 counties. To completely offset and lower our property taxes as far as the homeowner is concerned, the Spalding County portion, to 0. And we're going to need your help in doing that. Obviously, this is not a vote that just the 5 of us can take. It comes to a referendum. But the county is very interested in doing that and actually lowering our taxes as homeowners for the county to 0, not exempting just seniors, not exempting just veterans, everyone with a homeowner homestead exemption. That means the house that you live in and own. The property tax would go as close to 0 as the numbers are feasibly. Again, it depends on how much is collected. It might be 10%, 20% of what it normally was, but the goal is to get it to 0. And that's something that the county's definitely interested in. But because that's a direct replacement, that's not a shift in like that's not a reduction in or an offset that they could come after us for. So while I think we would be too far on shaky legal ground to offset and lower the millage rate right now, I definitely don't think that there was a discussion about raising it. We're definitely not doing that. But I think there's a way that we can effectively lower everyone's property taxes. If you'll bear with us and stay with us, that is 100% our goal. My property taxes more than doubled this last year. We're all there. We're all hurting with you. I promise that there's not discretionary spending. Our roof is leaking in the middle of meetings. All right, this is not, these aren't Taj Mahals we live in. Go and tour our jail, okay? Go and tour our courthouse, okay? Like, there isn't a lot of fat to trim here. A lot of folks have said, hey, but spending went up. Only when you factor in the T-SPLOST and the E-SPLOST. These are referendums that the voters passed that have nothing to do with the general fund. Well, you spent all this money on an aquatic center. Yes, we had to. The voters voted for a SPLOST that included an aquatic center. So we had to, by law, build the aquatic center. We had to build the pickleball once it was voted in. We had to continue to support the Heritage Park and Fairmont Parks and all the other things that were on on the SPLOST. Now we have to spend that money on rebuilding the roads from the T-SPLOST. That's not general fund money. That's not, look at all this extra money we've got. That is a referendum vote that the voters voted in and now has to be spent on those things. We didn't increase the spending on things. We have kept the millage rate the same. Now, again, as much as we would like to, last year's, the real clincher for me is the shaky legal ground that would place us on, the potential liability for them to come in and quite literally yank the financial rug out from under us. And unfortunately, I think that we're still on that ground next year. Elections matter, so if you don't like the feds doing that kind of stuff, remember when you go to the polls.
May I ask? Okay. So, Commissioner Dutton spoke about the ARPA funds, which is correct. I remember when those funds first came, we were limited to like 2 or 3 items that we could actually spend those funds on. If I recall, broadband was one, water sewage was the other, and maybe infrastructure was part of that too. So luckily, we were able to receive those funds. However, kind of like what Commissioner Dutton was saying, I am concerned about the potential legal aspect with it if it's not done for that reason, we don't account for those. I'm gonna be very frank, first responders are a big deal, okay? And, you know, I'm very fortunate that some of us may have never used them, but there's always that chance that I'm gonna have them. As a woman that lives alone, maybe I shouldn't say that, but I need to dial 911, have people come out when I need them. I'm not a gun toter, I don't do that. So I rely on my sheriff to come and protect me. And our firefighters, I think about Chief Byrd here right now with a high-ranking award he just received. He didn't get that just because. We're talking about state recognition. First responders, they're there when you need them, and they cost. Thank you.
See, when I think about the first responders, you've seen our great fire department come in here tonight and receive all these awards. Then I look at the sheriff's department, they were out there at a football game Friday night, a Spalding Griffin game, with people throwing bottles at them trying to keep peace. I wouldn't, I mean, as a citizen, I wouldn't do it. I mean, I wouldn't want to go to the games, but thanks to the sheriff, he was there to do it. And I'm just sitting here thinking, this is the hardest decision. I am a full-blooded conservative Republican. I hate taxes. I hate them. But I'm thinking about these guys here, the sheriff department. If we don't keep it the same, we're gonna have to do furloughs. There's people that you go up there to, what is it up there, Brookhaven, $80,000 a year is starting pay. And our poor deputies down here, I mean, are 45, between 45 and 50 starting pay now. I mean, we gotta keep them. So the only way we can keep that raise, that's the only reason we kept it the same last year, was to be able to give them a raise. And if we step back and change it back now, we're stepping back. And they're gonna lose our raise, we're gonna have furloughs, we're gonna lose our deputies, we're not gonna have the manpower out there we need. And like Mr. Randy King right there, he got up last week and spoke for his people. I mean, these people are the ones that keep your roads clean and cut and your potholes fixed and your garbage collection centers. I'm one, hey, we need the bulk bins back. Yes, we do, but we need the garbage centers, period. I mean, if we don't accept this, to keep it the same, we're gonna lose everything. And I know everybody says, oh, this is just a presentation by Mr. Steve Ledbetter, but I actually believe the man. I respect this guy. Very smart man. And y'all got to promise me, y'all won't ever put me in this situation again. Because I will not. I swear to God, I will step down. I will not do another, keep it the same. I'm gonna be a rollback. Make this host thing work. Make it work.
Here.
Yes.
Here.
Please.
Here.
My last comment is I listened to the citizens of this county and heard what you said. All right. Any more discussion? All those in favor of keeping it at 16.138, please raise your hand. 3. All those opposed? 1. Motion carries, 16.138. I hereby direct the county manager to prepare all documents for Department of Revenue and such.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Item number 3, consider approval of a request for web design for the site for our Legacy Museum. Dr. Ledbetter.
At this time, I would recognize Ms. Kelly Carmichael and Ms. Morgan.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for taking time on your agenda this evening to hear this request. As we are working on our Legacy Museum, we are at next steps of creating a website to help support that project. And our request is not for Spalding County money, but for your permission for us to have the web design purchased by GSBTA. As you know, the vision of our Legacy Museum is for it to be a space where people of all backgrounds can visit and learn of their shared heritage and what they can achieve together. And that is our goal in use of this website. You can see we have, by policy, we have 3 quotes, and we actually like the lower quote, and it's $4,500 from Darwin Studios. And we're here for any questions.
This is a quote that's pretty similar to what we were facing with the airport authority. My family, we have 3 businesses. I have 2 firms, and my wife has one. And while just the cost off the top for a WordPress is pretty high, double what we paid, the $900 a year for like hosting and maintenance is absent for our 3 sites. Now, we do pay like the domain registration and but like, again, it's GSBTA's money. If you guys want to do this, go for it. But certainly, I mean, literally this year, we created a new website for another side business I have that was half of this, that doesn't have any of those costs. And I don't know, again.
Do you run it on the back end yourself? I'm just curious. So I
No, Google hosts it for us. It's like $15 to like get it registered. And then I want to say our web design team was like 22, and then it was like $100 a month. I'd have to get you that person's name. I don't even know the person's name. But I know that this sort of a bid came before the airport authority, and I raised the same concern. I was like, this is way high. Like, again, it reminds me of the elevators with the courthouse. They come and they go, it's $100,000 to build a brand new one for $100, for next door here. And they're like, oh, but you're a government, it's $700 to fix yours. And it's like, whoa, guys. Like, just because we're a government doesn't mean you can rip us off. I'm not saying you're getting ripped off. That's not what I'm saying. I'm sure these guys are going to do great. But look, get it done. That's the important part. You know what I'm saying? Like, but.
That's a question too, may I?
Yeah. No,
So to make sure I understand this correctly, Kelly, so the funds are actually, it says paid by GSBTA. Is that
So
correct?
the website design and development.
Okay, all right.
we budgeted for the maintenance and domains and everything in the annual budget for this fiscal.
Okay.
This is their money,
yeah, it's exactly
All right.
like you guys.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, I have a motion. Okay.
I got one more
Discussion?
question.
Go ahead.
This is what y'all want? Yeah? We got thumbs up from the alumni?
Steering committee of our Legacy Museum is present.
Then whatever the steering committee wants, we would love to support.
Okay. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 4-0, motion carries. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Let's see here now. Item number 4, old 4 on the item. Consider a request for amplification from Ritchie's Tire and Automotive to host a fall festival on Saturday, October 29th, 2022 at 4289 Highway 1941, Hampton, Georgia, from noon until 10 p.m. Dr. Ledbetter.
So Ms. Littlefield was unable to join us this evening. She's actually moving into her new home, so
Hey.
that's where she is this evening. As you can see from the screen that's in front of you, the permit has been reviewed by the reviewing departments, and the following comments have been made. The fire marshal, the fire department, as well as the sheriff's department has reviewed the information that was a part of the application. There are some concerns of this. This is an active junkyard. So there are some considerable concerns about the safety of those who will be walking through the facility with sharp objects from the cars or the equipment that's in the area. So the fire marshal, the building official, and the rest of the teams have listed their expectations for how we can proceed forward with using Richie's Tire as a Halloween event for the date listed here. So the recommendation is that you guys approve it with the conditions that are listed on the application, or sorry, the request of staff. So that includes from the fire marshal, ADA compliance on bathrooms, access from EMS, fire, law enforcement. Food trucks should be inspected by the fire marshal prior to the event. The event walkthrough prior to starting to make sure that any safety issues are identified and contained. The building official has access to, asked that there be access to public restrooms. Transportation, there's no parking in the right-of-way on 1941 and no overnight parking. From the fire department, access for emergency personnel all the way through the venue. Provide a site plan to show pathways that people will access the event, and then for emergency egress should something occur. From the administration side, for community development, provide appropriate liability insurance. That's a requirement for our activities. Submit a site plan for all the buildings, temporary and otherwise, so we need to know where things are going to be located. And that was one of the things by our building official, was where will the restrooms, the porta potties be located, so that they'll have easy access for removal from the site afterwards. And then provide notations of parking, pedestrian areas, locations of food and beverage trucks. So there needs to be some very clear understanding of where things are going to be situated on the property. Because as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner from the picture in front, if they do expect a considerable number of people that come through, then we need to really understand where the event will take place for parking, pedestrian walkways, and make sure we keep everybody safe.
Thank you. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve with,
Stated conditions. I'll make a motion to approve with stated conditions.
okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it for discussion.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Discussion, please.
Well, this is like a marketing thing for their firm? Is that the idea, is just that the business wants to like have a party to drum up?
It's my understanding that they're actually doing it to showcase what their property is, but it's also to provide some means of entertainment for a Halloween event that's on their property.
They have adequate insurance, if something happens, so.
All right. Fair enough.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
And sorry, and
Yeah, go ahead.
she's not here tonight, so I gotta ask all the questions.
Okay.
So, and the staff, with these conditions, recommends approval if these conditions.
That's correct. If those conditions are agreed and met, then staff makes recommendation for
And that's
approval.
12 to 10 p.m.
Till 10 p.m., that's correct.
It's a long
Okay.
day.
All right,
Long day.
all right. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 4-0. Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 5, consider request from Randy King and Lisa Perkins for a contract with the Environmental Protection Agency for reimbursement for up to $32,371 for the right-of-way tire removal as part of the STAR grant program. Dr. Ledbetter.
At this time, I'd recognize Mr. King.
Hello. The information that I've gotten from the EPD, first thing is right now we have no sort of compensation in place whatsoever. I mean, I've been picking up tires myself for a while there. I was the guy picking up stuff on the side of the road. I'm a working supervisor. So we have no kind of compensation whatsoever. At least for this, we get compensated. There will be a little bit of clerical growth that we have to do, but I'm working on a spreadsheet, and we should be able to do it right from a laptop right in our truck that we have. I see no issue with this whatsoever. I know we just have to go through the motions. We estimated around $32,371. If we go over that, we can amend, and we could get up to 50,000. If we go below that, we get what we get. It's better than zero. So,
Oh, so the 32,371 is like the estimate, it'll go up to 50.
it can go up to 50.
Wow, that's pretty on the nose number there. That's really kind of.
Well, I did a bunch of research going through, we would be, of course, taking everything through Quality Tire, who is our vendor right now. Did a bunch of research finding out how many times we send a trailer to them and reverse engineering a number, and working with EPD. So these are numbers that Lisa and I both got, and then we worked with EPD and we've talked with them several times. So this is, basically, we have to go through this process, get it done, and we can start getting a little bit of money back from all this stuff that we pick up. And then there's also a chance to do what's called an amnesty grant. I would think we should hold off on that for a little bit till we see how this thing goes. But then we would be able to have, like, say, Bulky Day. So you brought up Bulky Day, for everybody in this room. Bulky Day is October 29th. You'll get more information, but I've got that going right now. We'll be able to actually do almost like a Bulky Day, but with tires, and get paid for that as well. I say paid, but get, money back for what we're doing with them and moving them and disposing of them. So between those two, we can get up to 50,000. So that's the reason why I say we may want to hold off a bit on the amnesty, just to make sure we're not gonna spend the whole 50 on the right-of-way grant. But this is something we looked into and we want to move forward with.
But this is a yearly thing too?
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Randy, thank you for hunting this down. Great work on this.
All right.
Great work on
Do I have a motion to approve?
this. I like motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
This is one more, people came in and said, hey, are there other sources of income the county? Constantly. We're constantly hunting them down in ways that we can grab grants and do this, so it's not just the taxpayers. Like, constantly. We have awesome employees like Mr. King here that go above and beyond. Mr. King runs the print shop, and yet he's out there picking up garbage on the side of the road when he needs to. Like, that's the kind of awesome employees we have. So thank you for hunting this down for us. Thank you for making this happen.
Okay. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 4-0, motion passed. Thank you, Mr. King. Report of the county. Excuse me?
Yes, the report of the county manager, and I would like to start by asking the sheriff to come forward and share one more option for monies coming into the county.
We always like that.
Absolutely.
We got notified at the end of last week that we have been awarded a grant from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety for $223,646 to participate in the GOHS HEAT program. This program will purchase 2 cars for us, pay reimbursement of salaries for the 2 officers that will be assigned to the HEAT unit. Also, all of the equipment, the equipping of the cars and everything is covered by the grant. So we are trying to get cars in now, and we will get this going just as soon as we can.
Way to go.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Sheriff, wow.
Way to go, Sheriff. Way to go. Another
Yes.
$250,000. Thank you, Sheriff.
All right.
Not overshadow Mr. King.
No,
A
never.
few more of those county managers. Just bring-
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
So if you notice on your screen, we were updated late this afternoon. We are at 84% complete for the first year T-Splost resurfacing. You can see the roads that are remaining. So we've got Deerwood Circle, Holly Lane, South Honey Bear Drive, and Woodland Road are the 4 that remain for this year. We're going to butt right up next to the end of season for resurfacing. I and TJ Emberger, who is our Public Works Director, have been working with Paragon Consulting, our engineering firm, to begin bid for next year's work so that we can get started as soon as the resurfacing season opens. If you notice on the right-hand side of the screen, we're at 22.17 miles. That does not include the chip and seal that was done at Amelia or Yarborough Mill. Those roads Amelia is finalized. The contractor came back and fixed it. It is really, really nice to ride on. Yarborough, we have not gotten the contractor back yet. McElroy is the prime, and there is a sub out of South Georgia that's working. We have not paid for that road yet, so we are working to get that road finished before we call it complete. So there is a considerable amount of work that's going on to resurface our roads. All right?
Hold it. So everybody understands, last year we had less than 4 miles of roads resurfaced compared to 22 miles this year. T-Splosh works.
T-Splosh works quite well, and the LMIG program, I have, well, both myself and TJ have finalized our recertification for the LAP program through the Georgia Department of Transportation. LMIG is a program that we get grant money from the state to support our resurfacing projects. And we typically get right at $1 million to do the work for resurfacing. But we don't get the money for free. LMIG through the Georgia Department of Transportation requires that the county contribute 30% of the funding for the LMIG work. So if we don't have that 30%, we don't get any money from GDOT to resurface the roads. So with that money this year, what you don't see on the list is Vaughn Road. So we had some, I think it was Vaughn, it may have been Rover Zatella. Please forgive me, I don't have that readily on my list. But we had a considerable, we had a considerable amount of money that went into that resurfacing. So I'm real proud to report that we were able to get the LMIG funds this year because we had our 30% contribution. Continuing on our roadways, this coming Monday, October the 10th, Georgia DOT will be closing Highway 16. So at the Georgia State Patrol facility, that road all across will go under construction to rehab the Norfolk Southern Railroad crossing. So they're going to completely dig the road up. They're going to raise, which sounds counterintuitive because of the way that the vehicle flies through the air when you hit the roadway. But they are going to raise the railroad track 2 inches and then rebuild all of the roadway on 16. Georgia DOT is telling us right now that that will take 7 days to complete. I'm not sure it's going to take 7 days. I'm thinking it might take a little bit longer. So please plan accordingly as you travel. All of Highway 16 right there as you're coming into town will be closed down. So make your travel plans appropriately.
It's going to be bad. Get ready. The 18-wheelers and everything that are rolling through there, this is going to be congested. If you know another way besides the detour way, my recommendation is those of us that live in that area, use another way.
And I just want to say one more time, congratulations to Chief Byrd for Fire Chief of the Year, and congratulations to our brand-new battalion chief, Joseph, for going through the process and working his way into a battalion chief position. That is just phenomenal and amazing, and I'm proud to be a part of this team. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
That's it. Yes, sir.
All right? Commissioner Johnson?
Okay, I'd kind of like to ditto the county manager's congratulations to Chief Byrd as well as Mr. Joseph Miller for their awards. That's a big deal in our county. We work with the best, and they need to be recognized. I'm very, very grateful to be associated with them. Also want to give a big congratulations to Kenny Smith, former city manager. We've worked with him for a number of years, and thankful that he is considered the man of the year. Congratulations, Kenny. Thank you, Sheriff, once again, for advocating to bring some grants to bring back to the county. That's very important. As you can see, we need that. and also you, County Manager, for the presentation on the host. We were talking about, we were tasked to actually think outside the box when it came to property taxes. And I can't think of a better solution right now for that. So we're gonna continue to pursue that and see what that looks like, but that may be the solution that we need for all of our homeowners. Continue the good job that you do. And like I said, it was a tough decision tonight. I get it. I'm definitely a taxpayer myself on both sides, home and business. And we're not gonna talk about my business taxes right now, which was the homestead exemption doesn't pay for. So anyway, just it's a tough day for everyone, but at the end of the day, our services are very important, particularly our first responders. And that's one that we do not need to take money away from them. So that's all I have to say.
Commissioner Bolden?
I kind of mentioned a little bit about the Spalding Griffin game we had Friday night. I just want to call out the city, the Spalding County School Board. What are we going to do about this? I mean, how many years in a row has this happened, Sheriff? Something like a fight breaks out or shooting spill up? And I was scared to death it's going to spill out into the fair with all the kids.
I think last year it's been,
Yeah.
it's just escalated.
Yeah, so I mean, I hate to take it away from the football teams and everything, but something's gotta happen. I mean, close the stadium down and let them play with just a couple family members there, or just do away with it totally, because somebody's gonna end up getting killed. Cause this right here is dividing the community. It's sad. I mean, it really is sad, cause I was sitting there, I was telling my wife, I said, let's ride to the fair tonight. And she's like, oh, I said, it's probably not a good night to go because, like I said, I knew something was going to happen, just having prior experience in law enforcement and just knowing, I just knew it was going to happen. So we got to change it. I sat down with TJ, our Public Works Director, the other day, and we talked about the chip and seal program. Yarborough Mill looks like crap, but it's going to be fixed and ain't been paid, and people are not going to be paid until it is fixed. Amelia looks awesome, but this is something that we're wanting to kind of get going and get some of our dirt roads knocked down. Right now, we still have right at 78 miles of dirt road in Spalding County. This right here is a lot cheaper than trying to go in there and pave it right now, and it's a good fix. I mean, there's some of these roads, chip and seal roads down in Meriwether County that I drove around when I was 16, and I mean, they still look good. And the last thing I got is the host. I mean, this is exciting. It sounds awesome. I just hope y'all can make it work. That's all I got.
Okay. Vice Chairman?
I wasn't aware that was an issue at the Griffin Spalding game every year. Maybe that's just the bubble that I live in with little kids. But I took my kids to saw Chief Bird at the Skipstone game on Thursday, and then I took my kids to Amigos by way of going around there during the Griffin Spalding game on Friday, and I noticed an army of sheriff's deputies out there, an army. And normally there's a few city police, there's a few deputies out there. It was an army. And I was like, this is weird. Like this, all right. I'm just walking around with my kids. We left because, they're little. But as I was putting them to bed, it's when everything broke out. I can't imagine having a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old in that kind of situation. I want to thank Spalding County for having the numbers and the foresight to be there to take care of that kind of awful behavior. I graduated from Griffin High before Spalding High was a thing. And I've said this to several people, and it seems like it must still be true. I remember there being 6, 7 officers in Griffin High at all times because there were fights. There were 3 to 5 fights a week. I mean, I remember they had to change the rule that not everyone in a fight gets expelled, only the person that started it, because they were just losing everybody. this community is, this community hurts when this kind of stuff happens. This isn't just bad for the people involved, this is bad for the whole community. This is bad for those kids and frankly, the men that were involved as well. This kind of behavior isn't something that any community can tolerate, but it's also not something that we have to look at as a one-off. It's not something that we can say, look at these bad guys, they're bad guys. We have to say, hey, what can we do as a community to prevent this kind of stuff from happening? And Spalding County has already worked that a lot of that SPLOST money was all about, hey, how do we get positive stuff for these kids to do so they're not just getting in trouble? What can we do to redirect this, to change these futures for these young men and change these outcomes in the direction they're going? Before they get to my office. I think we as a community, not just the school board, not just the city, not just the county, not just law enforcement, but we as a community need to come together. Every time I drive home, I go past this awesome new mural right there at Jerry's that says, "You belong here." And that's true for everybody who lives here. And these sort of rivalries between schools, like I get it, you know what I mean? Like, there's a bit of a rivalry with Pike County, Pike County. But there shouldn't be a rivalry inside our community. We're one community. Doesn't matter what side of the tracks you live on, doesn't matter if you live on the east side or the west side, we're one community. And it bothers me when I see this kind of stuff happening. All right, I gotta talk about something positive. Let's talk about something super positive. The fair happened. We were really worried that Ian was gonna rain us out, and there's a lot of praying going on, and so we didn't get rained out. I want to thank the Kiwanis Club for putting that on. Thank everybody who came out and played bingo. All that money goes to kids' charities, both the K kids that are from preschoolers to 12th grade, all the way to scholarships, and even to technical scholarships. It's all for the kids, you know, every year because of the hard work and the hundreds of hours of volunteer work that goes into that fair. You know, 6 figures worth of money gets to go to kids from volunteers. You know, in the 50s, all these great social stuff, that didn't happen because of the government. That happened because of social organizations. The community would put forward, churches would put forward, families would put forward. And now a lot of that burden has shifted from the community onto the government. And the Kiwanis and the Rotary, Exchange Club, these groups are actively working to keep that community engagement squarely on the shoulders of the community, of those of us that want to give freely both of our time, our talents, and our money. And Kiwanis really puts their time and their money where their mouth is. So I really want to thank them. Last, I want to talk about how awesome our chairman, Commissioner Davis, is. The work that he's done on this host idea, the idea, I remember before my dad died, he said, sales tax is a fair tax. Sales tax is a way to, it's an optional one. You can choose to spend or you can't. The least fair way to tax people is property taxes. I should be able to retire and you guys should leave me alone. And I said, I agree, Dad, but there's no way we can change. We can't just turn it all into sales tax, there's just not a way. And it turns out that that's not true. And thanks to Commissioner Davis and Dr. Ledbetter, we have a way to do exactly what my dad told me 10 years ago that we should do. Let's turn this into a sales tax. The awesome part about this, Commissioner Davis, is that it's the same 7 cents. We're not raising the sales tax. It's the same 7 cents. So there'd be no new sales tax, but all of us homeowners that are hurting, and I get it and we hear you, we would essentially be able to lower our property tax burden on the county side to 0. Now, of course, there's the city tax, there's the fire tax, there's the school board tax, and there's the county tax. But I can only control the one. But this way we can lower that for homeowners to 0. And I really want to thank Commissioner Davis for that. That said, it's done by referendum. It's done by referendum. If you want your county property taxes to be lowered to zero, I think we can get that on a ballot by March, and we'll do it as soon as we can. But it's going to take everybody getting out there and voting for it. I don't see why you wouldn't get out there and vote for it, but it takes more than just voting yourself. You got to bring a bunch of folks to the polls or whatever. You know, just like with the T-Splost, just like with E-Splost, it takes us getting out and actually making that change. Us five can't just vote for it. Or believe me, I'd be doing it tonight. It takes a referendum. So let's get out there and let's do that. That's definitely something I want to do, all right? And again, I just want to give credit where credit's due, and it's this man right here. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Thank you. Reminder, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This is a big deal. This is a big deal for us. Try to remember. Tonight you saw us approve two ordinances, one of them on light and one of them on food trucks. This is all part of the raising of the bar, finding out policies that need to be written and writing them, and then holding people accountable for them. Those are time-consuming issues that truly citizens bring to us and say, hey, we need to have something done about lighting and things like that. Host, I think the Vice Chairman has talked enough about Host. I'm hoping everybody gets involved and starts to read and think about Host. Host is important to us. It's what's behind door 2. We can walk down the way we are, and next year we can be talking about the same issues, or we can take an option and look at a second way of doing it and try to figure out a better way of doing it instead of working this the way we are right now. Lastly, to the board, thank you. This was a tough night. This was a tough night getting ready for it. I think all of us had enough information overload on what people wanted us to do. As I said in the beginning, there was never going to be a 100% solution on anything that was out here, what we were going to do. This was 60-40, somewhere around there, to be able to do it. There are going to be people who will start writing, emailing, calling tonight and tomorrow, saying we made the wrong decision. I understand that. We understand that. That's why we're here. Lastly, I want to thank the county manager and the county attorney for what they have done to continue to move this county forward. They're tirelessly working the things like SDS, which is, I think, 468 pages or something like that, that are working through, that we have to work and talk about. Those things take time and effort over and over again. All right. With that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. We're adjourned. Thank you. Okay.
D, you gotta see me.